Hi, it is Shy, and this is part two of Life Skills 101. It's a little bit before 7:30, so just go ahead and give it some time. And let's see here. Let me see something. So I'm gonna give it one more minute and I'm gonna go ahead and start. Let's see. Just gonna post in my group on Facebook. So if you are not a part of that, it is Women Healing and Discovering Their Purpose Facebook group. You can follow me on Instagram at shymowright. And on there, you can, once you go to Instagram, you can get my link tree and then get access to all of my information. So, thank you for taking the time to watch this video and be a part of Life Skills 101. Tag a friend, tell a friend. That's what I always say. And I'm just going to do a quick review from last week where we talked about freeing yourself and setting the foundation in reference to understanding how important it is for change. And at the same time, we have to prepare ourselves for what's to come. And simply meaning that we can have a desire to want to do better, to be better, whatever you want to call it. We can definitely have the desire to want to be that, achieve that. However, we have to understand that it's a process, and without being fully equipped to make what you desire a reality, it can actually just cause more frustration and hinder what you're trying to do. So I just want to hear it and share the link out. So, and I don't want to spend too much time on that. But again, if you actually register for this, you can get the content so that you can follow along. Tonight, I am going to do a demonstration of some of the stuff that I will be discussing. Again, this is Life Skills 101. We're ending part two, going into our third component, which I am excited about. And at the end of part one, there's a box, and inside the box, there's some affirmations. I matter. My feelings are valid. I believe in myself. I will accomplish my goals. I am smart. I will succeed in life. Affirmations are very powerful because, again, before a lot of things are executed and manifested, it starts here. So if I've been told all my life I'm a failure, I'll never accomplish anything, you're going to end up like your mom and your daddy, and those are not positive, comments, then that's in my head. So I have to retrain my thinking. I have to retrain my perception. I have to retrain what I allow in the stuff that I need to get out. So that's what part one focused on. And today I am going to be talking about breaking negative and unproductive cycles. So in this section, we will discuss how we get stuck in cycles and how to stop repeating them. You will learn what cycles mean, how they affect you and your family, and how to break negative and unproductive cycles and create new healthy ones. So that's what we want to achieve in life. And if you don't want to achieve that, you want to do some evaluating within yourself as to why. What you see around you is not like the end all of life. There's more outside of what you see, more than what you can fathom. Like there's just so much more out there. And definition for cycles: a series of events that are regularly repeated in the same order. So we've all, most of us have seen the life cycle, you know. So repeated is the same order. It's just the same thing over and over and over and over again. Generational curse. According to Webster's dictionary, a generation is a single step in the line of a descent from an ancestor, the time between the birth of parents and the birth of their children. Therefore, generational curses describes the cumulative effect on a person of things that their ancestors did, believe, or practice in the past, and a consequence of an ancestor's actions, beliefs, and sins are being passed down. So just to put that in layman's term, the stuff that your great grandmama, your mama did, all of that stuff is passed down to us. Some stuff we become aware of, some stuff we're told about, some stuff we witness and see for ourselves, and stuff it's always kept a secret. So we're fighting and battling things that we don't know. Who wants to go to a fight and not know who you're fighting, what your opponent look like, what it's going to take to break them down? Like, who wants to go to a fight blind? Who wants to fight, that way? So cycle something that's repeated in the same order over and over again. And generational curses is passed down the line. So it's something you inherit. You inherit this. There's no opt out. You inherit this. Like, surprise. So I have here actually the diagram of the life cycle. So infancy, childhood, adolescence, adulthood, old age. It just keeps going. It keeps going. So you can pull up your own image of that, but study the image and assess what's missing from the picture. So again, you have infancy, childhood, adolescence, adulthood, and old age. When you look at that, or even think about that order, is there something that's missing from the picture? The next thing down that I put is fear of becoming what you don't like. So again, we're talking about breaking negative and unproductive cycles. So some cycles are great. They do wonders. The cycle of life is a beautiful thing. It's not going to change. It is the cycle. Everyone does not make it full circle, in full cycle, but it never changes. And so fear of becoming what you don't like. What is the fear that you have? What do you not want to become? What cycles do you not want to repeat? What cycles do you want to break? What cycles currently have you hostage? Like, it exists, it's there, and every time you try to move away from it, heal it, whatever, sever the tie with it, it just appears again. So the next question is, what do you have a fear of becoming? What do you not want to be? What is that thing you do not like? And actually, in this area is just a series of questions. So, fight or flight? When you are faced with situations, and like, most situations require some type of decision to be made, what is usually your response? And I'm talking about something that's like life altering, based upon what you do, don't do, say, or don't say, it's going to affect something great, in your life or the lives of others. Do you fight or do you flight? And simply you face the challenge, you fight, okay, it's here, I got to do what I have to do, I have to figure something out, and I got to do it. Like, I'm not going to run away from it. I'm going to fight this thing. Or flight, you just bounce, like it's too much. You don't want to deal. By you dealing with that, it's going to open up some stuff that you're not ready to deal with. So fight or flight. When things get heavy and decisions need to be made, do you fight or you flight? And even from those, what is I don't want to say what's the outcome, but what does your fighting look like? And when you flight, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? And when you fight, what are you thinking and what are you feeling? So for me, when life happens, like, I get suited and booted. Like, okay, this is the challenge. This is the test. This is what I have to get through. I'm going to get through it. So I'm fighting. And whatever that may look like, you know what I mean? If it's having a tough conversation, if it's reassessing some things, but I'm going to stand up to the situation and fight. I'm going to do what it requires for me to get through. I'm not a flight. I don't flight. It's like, kind of like the saying, if you big and bad, you presented yourself, like, let's do this. But my experience with people that do flight kind of fall in the passive aggressive category. This is my experience, where they know that it may be a problem somewhere, but until the problem, corners it and it has no other choice but to respond to it. Other than that, it's just like, I deal with it when it's ready to deal with me type of thing. So fight or flight. The next thing I have here is, again, we're talking about breaking negative and unproductive cycles. It's your life. It's your life. This, when you wake up in the morning, this is your life. Like, you have some say about your life and what you're going to do, what you're not going to do, and what you're going to stand for and what you're no longer going to stand for. Breaking negative and unproductive cycles. So if you assess that you're always running away from things, you are a procrastinator, and it's not even, I don't want to use I'm going to say you don't like confrontation. The average person does not like confrontation, but you don't deal with confrontation. So you just kind of internalize, back away, or just stay okay when you really want to say, no, that's not okay. So these are the things that once you answer the question, then you're assessing your answer. Like, well, why do I do that? Where does that come from? Where did I see that at? Or when was I taught that was okay. That's what I do. So that's what these questions are to do. They're provoking questions. So it's kind of hard when you don't have the material, but you can always get it just by registering on the link, and then you can have the materials. So again, the first question was looking at the cycle of life. What's missing from the picture? The next one was fear of becoming what you don't like. What is that? Fight or flight. Do you fight or do you run? It's your life. Being accountable, being responsible, taking ownership, and understanding it's only so long you can blame your past for what you're doing right now. Because once you become aware, and there's accountability and responsibility. So if you have gone from a child and you are now a full grown adult, like legally per your state, you're an active citizen in society, you are a legal adult. You know what I mean? It's your responsibility to fix what is broken in your life. Stop saying, oh, it's because I didn't grow up without a father. Oh, it's because my mom this. Oh, it's because, I grew up poor. Yes, you may be a product of all of that, but okay, now what? Like, what do you do with that? Do you just want to keep talking about it? Do you still want to put the blame on other people? Or do you want to like take hold of your life and do something about it? Like, it's your life. It's your responsibility. If you are sitting around miserable, if you are sitting around just feeling like life is passing you by, if you are sitting around feeling like people, your family, society, whoever owes you something, if you are sitting around just in unforgiveness, like you don't want to forgive nobody, whoever hurt your feelings is to death, like there is no forgiveness in you. If you are sitting around waiting for opportunities to create themselves, or for people to come to you to ask for forgiveness, or to have that conversation that need to be had, or to just move on with your life, that's your fault. That's nobody else's fault. That is your fault. It's your life. You come to a point in life where it's yours. So again, if you sit around miserable and you feel like everybody else is getting it except you, or because of what happened when you was 5 and you now 45, and that's why you can, and that's why you're not, and that's why everything is so messed up, then you will stay messed up. Like, it's your life. And what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do about it? And this is very important to life skills, and to wanting to accomplish things and do better. And if you're in a place where you're just okay, it's some people that are just okay with being content. It's okay. Because for you, being content could be a step above how you grew up. Your being content is, guess what? I know I'm able to pay for this roof over my head. I know that I work, I come home, I do what I need to do. That could be why you're content, because it's a whole lot better than how you grew up, what your experience was. That's fine. But again, what more do you want out of life? Are you content because it just feels better, or you're scared to search what's out there? And I'm sitting on this one about being it's your life, because we really need to understand that it's our life. We have a say in it. We have oh my God, we The possibilities are limit, like there's no limit to it. But you have to understand to take accountability and stop blaming people. And it's your life. Like it really is. It's your life. So in your life, instead of just blaming people or saying because this happened, that happened, and all of that, let's take that same energy and talk about some of the good and positive things that can happen because it's your life. So I just wanted to give you a different avenue to view that from. The next one is loyalty to the wrong person or thing will cause you to lose in a season in your life. Loyalty to the wrong person or thing will cause you to lose in a season or seasons in your life. It's not, it's, there's really not a lot of loyal people in today's society. There are, but, pretty much just out to do what works best for themselves. But being loyal is not always a smart thing. It can be detrimental. Being loyal in so many facets. So being loyal to a friend where your friendship is one-sided, because there's gonna come a day you're gonna get tired of that relationship being one-sided, and if in that moment you're gonna find out if that's really like your friend. The average person does not like one-sided relationships. So once you actually put yourself in a position to be able to be like, this loyalty is not beneficial, then you'll see what I'm talking about. Another thing that a lot of people are loyal to, and it's detrimental, sitting under the wrong ministry or not moving in the time you're supposed to move in ministry. Because now when you're supposed to leave, you didn't leave. So you're still eating, meaning sitting on the same word and doing all that, but you're actually supposed to be out executing. So we need to learn how to be loyal to ourselves. That's the first person we need to learn how to be loyal to. We need to understand that friendships that we have, jobs, careers, if you are faith-based, like all of these organizations, people and things, they affect a lot of choices and decisions that we make in life. So if you are loyal to the wrong thing, you're going to miss out on a season in your life. And then in your head, you should have been expecting something, or this should have been a season where everything went right because you worked so hard. So you're supposed to be able to do multiple things, but it seemed like it's not happening. You're frustrated. Some things that you had in motion, they're now at a standstill. Well, assess what you got going on in your circle. Like, when you were supposed to do something, did you do it, or did you wait because you're depending on somebody else to come through with something, or to give you that hookup, or whatever it may be? So understanding that loyalty to the wrong person or thing will cause you to lose out on a season or seasons in your life. And one thing that we cannot get back is time. One thing we cannot get back in life is time. So when you're being loyal, make sure it's to the right person and or thing. That's all I'm saying. And then here I have, change does not mean you're being judgmental. I'm going to pause on that one real quick because I want to start. Change does not mean that you're judgmental. So when you start making changes and growing in life, and you start speaking life into people. Sometimes because people are not ready to move or receive what it is that you're saying, they may say, oh, like, who are you to judge me? It's like, I'm really not judging. Like, I'm just like, we're cool. Like, I'm trying to, explain something to you, or I just went through, 6 months of this. And instead of saying you bump your head for 6 months like I did, I'm just trying to give you a heads up. So, a thing that I want to talk about also is I want to start talking about goals. Goals, the object of a person's ambition or effort, an aim, an aim or desired result. Goals, the definition is the object of a person's ambition or effort, an aim or desired results. And so in this part, I'll put my little board up. When we're talking about cycles, and then now we're talking about goals. List your goals. And you really can't see this, but it says how to organize. Organize, and then how to achieve the goal. You list your goals. You organize your goals. You organize your goals based on what works for you. Whether it's you put a goal down saying you want to go back to school, a goal saying that you want to, I don't know, start your t-shirt line. You have a goal that you want to do your first live video. You put those goals down, and then you organize. Well, which goal do you feel like you can do first? Which one out of your goals, how are you going to be able to achieve them? So it's great to have goals in life. It really is. But you have to discuss your goals, and are they realistic for you, and how you will achieve them. So I have all these goals. It's great to have goals, but let me break down what my goals are. Like, what does this really look like? Are they realistic goals? Like, not saying that they're not obtainable, but are they realistic? Am I just going off something that I see, not something that I research and I really know the work that it's going to require to reach that goal? And then how will you achieve them? So let's just say you want to design t-shirts. Well, how are you going to achieve that goal? How are you going to get money for the shirts? What kind of shirts? Are you going to start off with 1 or 2 colors? What are the designs? Did you create designs? Do you know how to create the designs for free? Just all of that. Because again, it's great to have a plan, but if you don't know how to execute the plan, you're going to frustrate yourself. You're going to then think that it was not meant to be. And then you're going to put it aside, and now you're not doing what you're supposed to do because you didn't write it out. You didn't see what it looked like. You didn't count up the cost. You didn't see where, well, I have these 3 goals. Okay, so I want to be able to create t-shirts. Well, I know at least I want to use these 2 colors. Let me research, the type of t-shirt I want to use. 100% cotton. Is it going to be mixed with spandex? Like, what does that look like? Okay, let me count up that cost. How many do you want to start off with? Do you have a way that you're just going to get them out there? Are you going to wear them your shirt, give them to your closest friends, just put it out there? Like, what does it look like? It's ideas are great, but if you don't know how to execute them, they will frustrate you and think that you're not supposed to do what you're called to do. So again, last week was talking about building the foundation. We started today by asking ourselves some questions about breaking negative and unproductive cycles. Those things that keep us going around in a circle, but it's not producing nothing. Or because of the choices and decisions we're making that's keeping us stuck in these cycles, we're not able to move forward. So that's why that part is a key component, because it's part of the process. And if I'm a procrastinator and I start and I stop, I start and I stop, I'm stuck in a cycle of starting and stopping. So in order for me to be able to execute one day, I got to figure out, why do I keep starting and stopping? Where does that come from? Is there a generational curse? Did I see other people starting and stopping? They said it was okay. So I feel like that's what I can do. And it's all right because I'm still able to get by. But do we just want to get by in life, or do we want to be the real person that we are supposed to be? Do we want to fully manifest the things that we pray about, the things that we talk about, the things that we desire? So that's how all these things are connecting. Because again, I can have the greatest idea. I really can. But if I'm a procrastinator, what am I executing? What am I producing? And if that is me, why am I not? What I got to start looking at myself. What's stopping that? What's blocking that? It could be something I'm aware of. And again, it just could be something that I inherited. Generational curse. That's just what we do. Nobody know why we do it, but great grandma did it, grandma did it, mama did it. We just do it. That's what we do. And we've been able to get by, so we're fine with it. So if we want to move forward and get all these great ideas and manifest what shows up in our dreams and what we feel and what we've been writing down, there's some work that we think does not connect that have to go with that. And it really does. It really does. Because it's one thing to show up like, I'm ready to work, but you did no work from the inside. And eventually what's in the inside, it's going to come out. You ever seen somebody beautiful? Oh, just beautiful, beautiful person. And then they open their mouth and you like, sweet Jesus. Like, all that beauty just went away, because what's inside is very ugly and tainted, and it's going to come out at some point. So, again, you want to ask yourself these questions or other questions about fight or flight, it being your life, taking responsibility for that. And then let's talk now we get a little bit further. We're going to talk about our goals and what we want to accomplish and how we want to accomplish them, and what we're going to do to, get to the next level. And then I'll start on this, but I'll go into it more in depth next week. Once you're writing your goals and you're assessing, what you can accomplish right now, and then what you need to be able to execute, you want to assess what can interfere with achieving your goals. And this is not even like trying to predict life, just what can affect you from achieving your goals. So going back to the t-shirt idea, if you want to design and create, if you realize, well, I have an idea for t-shirts and stuff like that, but I don't do great at art, and I really don't know how to, create and do all that stuff. But I have the vision and the image here, but I don't know how to put it down. So you want to look into that. That's going to be something that's going to stop the process. Not stop it, but you got to figure that component out. Another thing is, let's just say if you want to you want to purpose every week to give yourself some self-care time. Every week, but every day you at least need an hour to yourself for some self-care, because you really need that to be able to get connected, to hear yourself, to feel yourself, to just get back in touch. And what does that look like? If I take an hour of alone time, one, where am I going to take it? Because I work, I go to school, I got kids. Like, what's the best part of the day, for me to be able to have that? And then, well, what does it look like? Like, is it when everybody is asleep? Or if I want to get out of the house, do I have someone that can at least watch the kids, for an hour, or just those simple things? So I'm not talking about you trying to predict life and what's going to happen. No, really looking at like, okay, you know what? I really want to have this event, but I really don't have a support system. In my head, I don't have a support system because I'm thinking about family and stuff like that. But hey, I got coworkers, you know what I mean, that support me. I have people at church that support me. I have, friends of friends, that may support me. So just assessing those things. What is going to interfere with you accomplishing your goal? Finances. Like, I wanted to start school. When I wanted to go back to school, and I started assessing, well, how can I? Was like, I couldn't, because like my job was the problem. Like I was going to be at work when I needed to be at school. So I had to do some research. And then I learned, hey, they have this school program, and hey, they will actually approve your time out to go. And you'll get paid for those hours because the company partners with this entity, and this entity, they have agreed that if you go to school, you can actually get time off from work. So just doing your research. So although I couldn't go when I wanted to go, but I was able to go the next semester because I looked into, well, what's going to stop me from doing that? Okay, this is the problem. Now, how can I fix this problem? So that's what I mean by that. And again, I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm going to talk more about that next week because, again, it talks about what's going to interfere with you achieving your goals. And then the next one down is, how can you conquer your interferences? I want to do this. This is the problem. I got to come up with a solution. So that's going to be next week. But again, cycles. Why do you do what you do over and over again? Your goals. Write them out. Organize them. How are you going to achieve them? Take it from here. Just stop just keeping stuff up here. Like, get it out of here. Write it down. Make it believable. Put it on paper. Make it something tangible. So, life skills 101. Today we talked about breaking negative and unproductive cycles so that we can even get to our goals. And then once we have goals, how we're going to obtain them and being realistic about that. So as I always say, tag a friend, tell a friend. This is part 2 of the Life Skills 101. And I'll see you next week.